Chad with Hookup Baits here. So I'm going to introduce to you guys a very hot color, one of my new favorites. Started test fishing it a good 5 months ago, and it's been catching everything. Okay, so this is the new ice, right? Sold very well through the shows, still selling well through the stores now and online. This color was actually designed for Pyramid Lake. Is where I came up with the design. Pyramid Lake, the trout love white, but they also love a lot of flash. So I put it together, a very pearly, silvery white with a lot of flash. And it just mimics a bait fish very well. It's very flashy, very visible, and it's a good morning low light color, and it's also a good bright light color. I've always said low light, fish white. Bright light or sunny days, fish a lot of flash. Well, you got both of it. So it's a good all-day bait. Mimics a glass minnow. You see a lot like glass minnows, or they have these minnows at Pyramid. They're almost see-through and just have the belly part of them. The middle of them has a little white area where their guts are and stuff. That matches it perfect. Okay, or like I said, a glass minnow matches a glass minnow very well, but just matches shad any kind of bait fish, it matches very well. Okay, with a good eyeball, a lot of flash, silvery, bright pearl. Now this is quickly becoming the #1 spotted bay bass bait in California. That 1/4 ice. So many people are having such good. I'm getting pictures every single day of people catching spotted bay bass and halibut fishing this bait in the bays. So if you're a spotty or halibut or bay fisherman, got to have that 1/4 ice. Every show we've done with these, the 1.5 and the ice and the 1/4 in the ice have sold out every time. So very popular baits. But for you trout fishermen, this little jewel, the 132 for stock trout, this 132 ice is going to be very good. And then also the 116 for stock trout and any kind of native trout. If you watch my YouTube video, fishing the Truckee River, I caught 11 trout in one day at Truckee River, which is, almost unheard of. And every single fish was on the 116 ice. So it's a great color. Get it, make it part of your arsenal, and go slay. Okay guys, now that you know about the baits, JoJo has some customer questions she's going to be asking me.
Hi everyone, it's JoJo. Okay, questions from our customer. Can I use the ice for freshwater bass?
Oh, absolutely. Part of the testing was over Thanksgiving and Christmas when we went to Yuma to visit JoJo's parents, and I fished the river with the ice, only ice. I went with the box of ice. So I fished the canals and the river with a 1/8 and 116 ice and just crushed the bass. I caught bass up to 7 pounds. So, and also caught crappie and caught red ear sunfish. So it very good for freshwater bass, crappie, and sunfish. Actually, at Palmdale Fin and Feather, I caught a crappie over 3 pounds on the 116 ice also. The crappie and bass love it.
Can I use ice for the yellowtail that are coming soon?
Oh yeah. So we haven't caught yellowtail on them yet. The yellowtail haven't been around since we came up with it, but I can guarantee you a yellowtail is going to smash that 1.5 ice. That's guaranteed. Can't wait actually till around, because that's the first bait I'm going to tie on.
You talk about freshwater and saltwater, the versatility of the bait, but let's focus in on the smaller baits, the 116s and 132s. The question is, when do I use a 132 or a 116th bait in the ice?
So the 132 is more of a stock trout bait. Stock trout are used to, all their lives they eat little tiny things, little nuggets of what the feed pellets, right? So they're used to eating something really small. So the profile of the 132 is the smallest profile, which matches what they've naturally fed on all their life. So you get into the 116, they'll catch the more aggressive stock trout. So it'll still catch stock trout just fine, but it has a little bit bigger profile, so it's good for native trout also, and it matches a lot of the native trout regular size, the type of fish they feed on. But then also like the 1/8 ice is really good for trout also, because a native trout or a wild trout will eat just like a largemouth bass. If it fits in his mouth, they're going to try to eat it. So it doesn't, the size kind of goes away. I wouldn't fish a 132 unless you're fishing like a stream that has small native trout that you're fishing for. That's where the 32 comes into play. But if you're fishing lakes or rivers that have decent sized native trout in them, I'm fishing the 116, 1/8, and even 1/4.
Does the ice come in unscented?
Yes, it does. Because it does work for native trout so well, we have made it in the unscented line also. So you can use it in the parts of the Owens River, the Walker River, Pyramid Lake, and whatever river that's barbless hook, artificial lure. It's usually unscented also, so it's made to fish those waters.
What sizes does the unscented come in?
The unscented is 132, 116, 1/8, and 1/4.
Customer question, when do I use a 3/8 versus a 5/8?
Depth of water and current of water. So usually the 3/8 and 5/8 is bay and outside kelp line up against the islands. Shallower water, usually less than 100 feet of water. So if it's shallower water or less current, that's when you're going to throw the 3/8. Or if you want a slower sink. And then the 5/8 if you want to fish a little bit faster or more current or a little bit deeper water. It's basically the difference. Actually, just had a guy tell us at the last show that his friend got a 9-pound largemouth, and that was on a 3/8. So you can actually throw a big bait in the freshwater and they'll eat it also.
Have a customer that loves the ice, has caught a lot of fish, and loves using the double rig. Want to get your advice of, if he's using the ice on the double rig, what's your first and second choice of the other color of bait that you would use?
Oh, like if you're fishing freshwater bass, open water freshwater bass, very popular when bass are out off away from the shore chasing shad schools. The double rig is key. You gotta throw that double rig. I would throw an ice and a shad white probably. Ice and shad white would be a deadly combo. Or if it's bright and sunny out, I'd do an ice and a chovy. Would be another really good combo for that type of fishing.
And for saltwater?
Saltwater, ice and the new squid. I just caught a really nice double a couple weeks ago of a sand bass and calico bass on the ice and squid. That's a really good combo. But really, ice and anything. It's whatever's in the water at that time. Sardine, throw the sardine. Chovies, throw the chovies. For squid in the water, a brown silver and a squid, or a brown silver and an ice. I go by color of kind of what's happening at the time, what kind of food source is around is what determines my color, especially in the saltwater. So, that all the questions, Miss JoJo?
Yes, it is.
All right, guys. Hope that helps you out. And remember, use Hookup Baits and keep on slaying.